All about tracking, reviewing, and reporting on actual versus expected progress. Highlight that. That's what this this process is about. All right, tracking, reviewing, and reporting on actual versus expected progress. So we want to look at the effectiveness of our activities. So not just the risk responses, but everything, our procurements. How's everything looking? And then we're going to provide some forecasts and identify any risk and opportunities. So the key outputs we're going to look at here are going to be the work performance reports. We'll potentially get change requests, and we'll update documents and plans. So notice here we take any component of the plan, almost all documents. We'll look at work performance information and what that is, the agreements themselves or contracts, EFs, no PAs, and some of the same tools and techniques that we've seen, right? Expert judgment, data analysis, now in alternatives, cost benefit or earned value, root cause analysis, trend analysis. So we'll look at these, and then the outputs work performance report would be the specific one here. And then the next three are potential. So work performance reports give you sort of a forecast in a summarized version, and it also gives you ideas about how the project health is happening, and you distribute that out as a project communications. By the way, a work performance report doesn't get sent out to anybody, a project communications does. So just a little nuance in language for PMI. So status, graphs, forecasts, charts, designed to keep stakeholders aware and generate decisions or actions. It's all we're really doing in this process. We may get some requests for change. Maybe modify some baselines, right? But not a whole. It's potential. This could happen. Likely it will, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. But so these are always potential change requests, updates to documents and plans. Now the work performance information that we'll take into account. So let me go back. Let me go back a couple slides. I'm going to go back to this slide here. Okay. With the exception of monitoring control project work, the one we're looking at now, from 4.6, perform integrated change control, all the way to monitor stakeholder engagement. All of those processes take work performance data. That was the output of direct and managed project work. They take work performance data as an input, and it give you work performance information as an output. Okay, all of these processes, data in, information out, data in, information out. So we see here from perform integrated change control all the way down to monitor stakeholder engagement. All of the outputs of these processes, the work performance information that we get from each of these becomes an input to monitor and control project work. And then the output of this process is a work performance report. So I just wanted to show you that all of these processes from 4.6 down feed into this one process. And then the output of that is the actual report. And so we see that there. We see work performance information in, work performance report as an output. And I think this process is a good overall example of the PMI way. We have inputs where we use tools and techniques to create outputs. Basically, we're going to take this work performance information that we've gotten and all the agreements, the contracts, EFs, OPAs, documents, and plans. We're going to use alternatives analysis, decision-making, data analysis, or expert judgment, and meet with people to turn all of those documents into a report. And if necessary, request change, update our approach, and update other documents. That's the same process over and over and over for almost all of these. Take inputs, use tools and techniques, make outputs. So work performance report summarizes all this. Designed to keep stakeholders aware. We may get requests for change, updates. All right, we've seen this. Okay. We'll take some project plans and documents as well. And then the analysis that we'll use, we're going to do earned value management when we get to control cost. All right, so earned value analysis can help you with providing a forecast or explanations to what's happened or what's happening and allow you to make some decisions. Trend analysis, don't overthink that. What's the line doing? Is it going up or down? All right, don't overthink that one. Variance analysis, the difference between what you plan to be, where you plan to be, how much you plan to spend versus where you actually are in terms of progress or how much money you've spent in the budget. All right, so that's all that is. It's a fraction, it's a percentage. Don't overthink that one either. And then root cause analysis. What are the reasons for the issues that have come up that have caused us to not meet our particular budget at this moment or meet our particular schedule? Whatever it may be. It could be quality performance. Well, what's the root cause? And then there's alternative and cost benefit analysis, right? Well, what's the best method to go? You know, should we, I used the example earlier of building condos off the coast of Florida, and it's like, okay, we could have sandbags out and we should board up the windows. Maybe next time an alternative is we'll put storm, what do they call those, storm gates? I don't know. We don't have those in California, but I'm imagining. I don't know. Do they have those where you guys live? Is it like a little shutter, a storm shutter? What do they call it?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Storm shutter. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that will be the idea here. So when you see I'm giving you these examples because this is what the exam is going to do. They're going to describe these scenarios. They're going to describe the fact that, they're going to talk about risk and make you think it's a risk question, but it won't be. It'll be a monitor and control project work. Here's an example. You're a project manager for XYZ company, and your project is to build condos off the coast of Florida. You have noted in your risk management plan how to handle weather-related type of risk. And you qualify that the hurricane was likely to happen and it was going to be extremely impactful. And you quantified the fact it was going to cost the company $4 million. Your risk response was to board up the windows and place sandbags and send all of the workers home. Right. And it'll say after the risk event took place, you went back and you reevaluated the risk and determined that you ought to use storm shutters instead of boarding up the windows. This is an example of, it'll say A, alternatives analysis, all right, B, risk mitigation, C, risk analysis, D, change request. You'll get some question like that where we talked about risk, but it turned around. It was an example of alternatives analysis.